Have you ever heard a story that changed the course of a kingdom? A story filled with love, power, betrayal, and redemption? Stay with me as we dive into one of the most powerful and heart-wrenching stories from the Bible, the story of David and Bathsheba. You won't believe how one decision affected an entire nation and the legacy of one of history's greatest kings. The story of David and Bathsheba is found in the Bible in the book of 2 Samuel, chapters 11 and 12. King David was known as a man after God's own heart, a mighty warrior, and the one chosen to lead Israel. But even the greatest of men can fall. This story isn't just about a king or a woman, it's about temptation, sin, consequences, and ultimately grace. It all began when David was supposed to be at war. Instead, he stayed behind in his palace. One evening, he was walking on the roof of his palace and saw a beautiful woman, Bathsheba, bathing. David was immediately captivated by her beauty. What do you think he did next? Did he turn away? Did he ignore his desires? Unfortunately, David let temptation take over. He sent for Bathsheba, and despite knowing she was married to Uriah, one of his loyal soldiers, he slept with her. Not long after, Bathsheba sent word to David that she was pregnant. Now David faced a dilemma. Instead of confessing his wrongdoing, he tried to cover it up. He called Uriah back from the battlefield, hoping he would spend the night with Bathsheba and believed the baby was his. But Uriah was too loyal to his comrades and refused to go home while they were still fighting. Desperate, David made a terrible decision. He ordered Uriah to be placed in the front lines of battle where the fighting was fiercest, and Uriah was killed. David had covered up his sin, or so he thought. But God saw everything. He sent the prophet Nathan to confront David. Nathan told David a parable about a rich man who took a poor man's only lamb. David was furious, not realizing the story was about him. Then Nathan said the words that pierced David's heart, "You are that man." David repented, but the consequences of his actions couldn't be undone. The child born from David and Bathsheba's union became sick and eventually died. It was a harsh lesson, but it didn't end there. While David's sin brought pain and loss, it also led him to true repentance. He wrote one of the most powerful prayers in the Bible, Psalm 51, where he cried out for mercy and forgiveness. However, this story doesn't end in tragedy. After repenting, David and Bathsheba had another son, Solomon, who would later become one of Israel's greatest kings. Despite his failures, David remained a man after God's own heart because he sought forgiveness and learned from his mistakes. So what can we learn from this heartbreaking story? 1. Even the greatest among us are not immune to failure. 2. Our choices have real consequences, not just for ourselves, but for others. 3. But no matter how far we fall, there's always a chance for redemption if we sincerely seek it. All in all, this David's story is a reminder that we're all human. We all make mistakes. But through humility and repentance, we can find grace even in the darkest moments. If you found this story intriguing, don't forget to like and subscribe for more powerful biblical stories that resonate with our lives today. Leave a comment below about what lessons you think can be learned from David and Bathsheba's story, and thanks for watching.